like I want to be an A plus like student even in therapy.
Welcome to Supernaut, where we explore the inner and outer dimensions of the self. Today our guest is Brianne McClellan. We've actually hung out around each other a lot, but never got to know each other super well, so I'm super excited to have a convo about her, since she is the expert on her. So I asked you to pick a song for us to listen to get on the same frequency before we started. What song did you pick?
I picked Some of It by Eric Church.
Why did you pick that one?
I knew I wanted an Eric Church song because he's my favorite. I originally had a different one picked, but then I looked at the lyrics and I was like, that really has nothing to do with me. And so I just feel like this is kind of where I'm at in my life. I'm now in my late 30s, and so I've learned a lot of lessons, but there's still more learning to do.
Love that. Well, one of your friends said this about you. She said, she is always chasing a life that brings the most joy and peace. Tell me about that.
I like that that's how other people see it. Okay, that's probably true. I do think I'm always like looking for the next adventure. I think it kind of started, I moved to Texas right after college, and I wasn't really like looking for the next adventure. I didn't want to be in Mora in Minnesota anymore, so it was like we're like running.
Did you like spend
From
your high
stuff.
school years like, I can't wait to get out of here?
Kind of, but I didn't think I'd leave Minnesota. Then I was just like, I'm gonna live in the suburbs in like a little subdivision, and then I wanted a small town, but my high school, college boyfriend and I had broken up, and he was coming back from the military, and we have mutual friends, and so I was like, well, he's coming back when I graduate, so I'm gonna be gone.
Yeah.
That's kind of how adventure started.
Yeah. Perfect. And joy too. Like searching for joy and peace.
Yeah, I just like finding new adventure and like seeing new places. That is what brings me joy and peace.
I love that. So is there anything that you want to do that you're scared to do?
Probably. I feel like I've done a lot. Um, Big things. Sometimes I think I'd like to move again, but I don't know that I ever will. Just because like everyone's here, and I would be afraid to leave everyone again.
I talked about this with Cody when he was on a few weeks ago, how like I did so many daring things in my early 20s, and now it's like harder and scarier. And you would think because I did so many hard, scary things, like it would just be easier. But it's like maybe because you get older and you like realize how much scarier the world is or something.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's scarier now to think of
Yeah. Which
uprooting everything.
It shouldn't be.
I
Like
know.
I've done it before. I did it for 10 years. But now that I am older, I'm like, oh, but what would happen now if I left?
Which part of Texas were you in?
I lived in the Houston area and the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I had 9 addresses in 9.5 years while I was there. So I moved around a lot.
Yeah, because those are, what, 4 hours from each other? 5?
Yeah,
And,
like 4.
very different culture?
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And last year you read how many books?
It was like 77 or 78.
Yeah, and like most of them were Audible?
But yes, most of them were audiobooks. And so it counts as reading, but I listen to books at almost 2 times speed, so I can get through them a lot faster.
Yeah, I am stuck at 1.2.
Yeah.
But you are retaining everything and
even podcasts, like I listen to them at 1.8 unless people automatically talk faster. Otherwise, I slowed it down once and I was like, this
so
feels
bored.
so slow.
Yeah, cool. I don't think my brain works fast enough to
I
go
definitely
that
have
fast.
undiagnosed ADHD, so it's always going like super fast.
Yeah, just living with it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite book that you read last year and your all-time favorite book?
See, here's this retaining thing. No. My favorite one last year was The Women by Kristen Hanna. I was going to say, I don't remember.
Is that the movie is based off of that book? I think I saw a movie called The Women with Meg Ryan.
No.
No?
This is about, I think it was Vietnam. It's like nurses in Vietnam. All of her books are like kind of historical and a little dramatic in a war drama kind of way. But my favorite book of all time is Valley of the Dolls. And I don't remember who that's by. I first read it when I was way too young to read it. It's about like old Hollywood and like sex and drugs and addiction. but I've read that book countless times.
What else? What's like the theme or?
It follows 3 different girls who are like in their early 20s, and they're trying to make it big, like, they're small towns, and some of them are models, and then they just fall into the trap of like Hollywood or like New York Broadway, and then drugs, and it's the dark side of Hollywood, basically.
I'll have to check it out because, yeah, this year, right when I decided to read 50 books, and then you posted on Snapchat like that you read 77, I was like, oh my gosh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
at least it's like I know it's achievable.
It definitely is. Even if you're like reading just physical books, there are some people that read just physical books and read more than the 78 that I read. So it's doable.
Yeah.
If you just make it a priority.
Yeah, well, we're almost a week into February, and I'm at 8.
Yeah, you're already ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was 5 weeks in January, so I was super excited when I was at 6, and then I was like, well, there is 5 weeks, so I didn't feel as good about it, but still,
You're
super
still ahead.
pumped. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pumped. So, I feel like you are one of those unicorns who has a really good relationship with alcohol, because I've been around you a lot when you've been drinking, but I've never seen you like have too much. Do you feel like that's true?
Yes, that was not always true. I mean, because in my 20s, I would still get drunk. And I don't think I ever had a problem with it. But now, again, because I'm older and I feel the need to be in control, I do not like that feeling. Like, buzzed, fine. Love that feeling. But it's very easy to tip into like where I feel sick. And I don't want to get sick from drinking. And so I kind of know where that line is. And when I lived in Texas, I pretty much always had to like drive myself because I lived alone. So I never really got too far because I was still going to have to drive. So
When did you figure out that line? Because I mean, like, I just was never able to. Like, how did you do it?
I think just like knowing like how I feel like physically when I'm about to like tip into the you're gonna get sick feeling. I just stable. Now I probably drink even less than that. I don't know. I've thought about quitting drinking before, but then I'm like, well, I don't drink a ton anyway. So why? Because there are still times that I would like to drink. Yeah, I think it's just a physical thing. Also, my parents never made it a big deal. Like they didn't want me to drink in high school, but they never told me that I couldn't. So like the first time I did drink was with them. Like they let me try stuff. So it was never a big
This forbidden fruit
Yeah.
that, like, you're going to spend your whole life chasing.
Yeah, like where I had friends who their parents were like, absolutely not. And they definitely did like take it too far in high school. So I think that helped too. Like it's never been a big deal.
Otherwise, maybe you just have something in your brain that we need to study. Something
Maybe.
that I don't have in my brain. An off switch. Okay, so what do you believe to be true about why we're here on this planet? Like, what do you believe in?
I go back and forth on like why. I know I believe in something. I don't believe in the Bible or organized religion. I was raised very loosely Catholic, in that like we went all the way through confirmation, but didn't go to church every Sunday. And after confirmation, we got to decide, and both my brother and I, we don't go to church. I don't know. I just had too many questions when I was a kid, and I didn't get answers that I liked. Like I remember one time asking, like, "Well, how do we know that this is true?" And I don't even remember what story it was. It just seemed a little far-fetched. And I was basically told, well, you just have to believe it.
And who told you that?
It was some pastor. One of my babysitters was Baptist, and so we went to Awana with her on whatever nights, and it was there. And I think I questioned something else to like one of the other kids, and they basically gave me the same thing. Like they looked at me like I was going to hell. Like, how dare you question what the Bible says? So that kind of turned me off, and just being from a small town, seeing how people were in church on Sunday versus not. So I don't know. I believe in the universe. Whatever is out there, there is something. As far as why we're here, I don't know. I think to learn lessons. I really I believe in past lives. And so maybe like we sign some type of like soul contract, I don't know, and then come back. Yeah.
Well, I think that's really cool of your parents to like give you that stability to confirmation age. and so that you learn it, so that like you know how to have conversations when you grow up in Midwest United States,
Yeah.
like, you know, you're not lost when people are talking about Christianity, but then let you choose for yourself.
Yeah.
That's
They
super
were
cool.
very good. And like all that stuff. Like even like that, the drinking, it was just sort of like, this is what it is. You guys can pick.
Are they big Christians or?
No. I
Okay.
would say my mom would probably still go to church if she found one nearby that she liked. My dad never was. Going to church with my dad was the best and awful, like because he couldn't keep a straight face. And so then if I looked at him, like I would start to lose it. So
Like when they were saying
yeah,
random
like the,
stuff,
like
like,
the raise your hands up, he would start like shaking them. So no, my dad's definitely not religious. I think my mom would maybe go if she found one that she felt comfortable in, but yeah,
yeah. So past lives. I
yeah,
think that's a big possibility.
yes. Like I would love to have a past life regression done. I want to know like if they're real. I mean, I guess if I go have it done, they're going to tell me they were real. But what maybe I lived in a past life.
Well, I've already said this on here, but yeah, the last reading that I had done, and they said I was a Nazi in a past life.
Yeah.
Because I said, like, yeah, I think I'm like too masculine. I have too much masculine energy or something. And they're like, well, yes, that's because you were a German officer. You were a Nazi. And I was like, what? Like, what? And he said that like I was like really mean, really bad, but I was a male, and my girlfriend was worse than me. And so when I was around her, and she was like so brutal to the Jews that like I would be worse around her.
Okay.
It was a whole story. I'm like,
Well,
okay,
hey, you're
well,
back for your redemption round. So
yeah, right,
you're
right,
you're not a Nazi now.
right. Um. Okay, so let's get into your job.
Okay. I am the East Central Suicide Prevention Regional Coordinator. They keep changing the stuff around it. I've been doing it for almost 3 years now. But before that, I taught high school social studies for 10 years. And I really wanted out of the classroom. I was so burnt out on it.
What grade?
I taught 9th through 12th grade.
That's really hard.
I
I bet.
loved when I taught seniors. 9th graders are the worst. They're figuring their lives out. Like a lot's going on with them, but I did not love it. But it was never really the kids either. Like admin in Texas, it's very much like teach to the test, so you don't really get a lot of freedom in what you're teaching or like how you're teaching it. You have like so many days to get through this subject before there's going to be a test, whatever. So I was burnt out on it. I moved back to Minnesota. I was hoping to not teach when I moved back, but in college I was so excited with like my degree for education because I had like friends go into business and they're like, I don't know what I'm going to do when I graduate. Like I could do so many things. And I was like, well, I know what I'm going to do because I'm going to school to be a teacher. So that means I'm going to be a teacher. And then I didn't want to do it anymore. And I was like, cool. Now I have a degree where I can only be a teacher. And so I moved back here. I took a massive pay cut to move back to Minnesota. And so then it really wasn't worth it. My last district was terrible for my mental health. Like I would take half days all the time because I just needed to go home. So between that, not wanting to do it, and then the pay cut, I was like, I will find anything else. So I tried real estate for a hot minute. Market wasn't great, and I was brand new to it. So I also subbed on the side, and then I wanted a job with the state because they posted a lot of like trainer jobs, and I was like, cool, that's teaching. It's really hard to get in with the state unless you have like exact like what they're looking for. So because I'd never taught adults before, they were like, sorry, you can't. And then someone said, try the county. And so I looked all around, and of the 5 county area, only Canadian County was hiring, and they were hiring for mental health, like public education. And I was like, cool, that's still teaching. I can still go into the schools, talk about mental health, which I know I do more than students now, but having been a teacher, I was like, I know that they are struggling, so I can still kind of do that without having to deal with all of the negative stuff of teaching that I didn't like.
Yeah.
And now I am here, almost 3 years later. This will be the longest I've stayed at any job.
What made you want to get into social studies?
I loved it in high school. I took every single social studies class that was offered, like right down to all of the electives, like Minnesota history.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know why, other than like I know my love for like government and politics is the stupidest thing. Do you know the movie Dick with Michelle Williams and Kirsten Dunst? It's about Watergate, but from a very teeny, like teeny bopper lens. That movie.
Mm.
I wrote a paper on Watergate in 7th grade because of that movie. And then
I'll have to check it out.
it's
I know I
so
heard of
good
it.
in a 90s like teen movie kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you mentioned your own mental health. So how did that play into your job?
So I was already not at a place where I was doing well anyway, like having just moved back. I've always kind of had like anxiety, mental health issues. I don't think they were as bad in high school or college. I know I went to the doctor at one point in high school because I thought I was dying or having a heart attack, and the doctor was like, "It's anxiety, get over it." And I just generally like think about it again. And then it was like the older that I got, like it was I was almost 30 or about 30, maybe like 29 when it started getting really bad. Um, and I'm going to blame a nurse for it. Like I went to donate blood because I used to donate blood all the time. And I went in and my blood pressure was high. I still don't know why. But she was like, your blood pressure is really high. You need to go to the ER. Like you could have a stroke. So I didn't go to the ER. I didn't go to the doctor at all. But then like that kept like playing in my head. And so the next time like I felt weird, I drove myself to the ER and my blood pressure was high, but they ran a bunch of tests, nothing. That happened again later. And I think that's kind of when like it started getting bad. Like I would experience anxiety and panic attacks more. And then so the job, I was already not in a place mentally that I should have been like whatever. And then I hated the job. So I just did not want to be there and like panic attacks would set in and I would just leave halfway through the day.
So working with mental health, did that help give you some tools for yourself?
Um Somewhat. And then I had one therapist when I had my last teaching job, so like 3 years ago now. Yeah, 3, 4 years ago now. She was fine. I'm in therapy again with a different therapist. I struggle with therapy because I don't know. It is helpful and like I do go, but I think too critically. Like I know it's because I don't let myself feel. So like I don't think that like talk therapy like really helps me a bunch. And that therapist, she was too nice. Not that I want to mean one, but she was definitely very like, oh, like it's okay. And like you seem like you got it together. So like it wasn't really helpful. So then I didn't go again for a while. And I think it was just like processing like everything that had been going on. And also now I'm medicated. So that all helped.
Yeah. Well, I had a therapist that was too nice too. Like, she just wanted to have conversations. I'm like, I have enough friends.
Yeah. Well, and
Like, focus on me.
she was young. So then like it was also like she, like I want to be an A plus like student even in therapy. But I was like, I feel like this girl's too like happy and like way too nice and I don't want to rock your world.
Oh,
So
gosh. Yeah. Like, you can't even handle
yeah.
what I'm going to tell you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving back from Texas, did you leave? I know you were in an abusive relationship while you were there. Did you leave because of that?
Partly. I had already left the relationship, but I had planned on leaving Texas multiple times before, and I just like kept staying. But when I left that relationship, I knew I didn't want to teach anymore, and so when I moved back, I was hoping to not teach. And then also, I needed to be around my family and my friends, so like I was kind of already like planning on it. But if I hadn't left the relationship, I probably wouldn't have moved back. I would have stayed down there with him because he also had a kid who I adored. So obviously he wasn't going anywhere. So yes, I moved back because of the relationship, but also no, it was kind of just the catalyst that got me to move back finally after 9.5 years.
How long were you with him?
Just shy of a year and a half. So not a short amount of time, but not a super long time either.
When did you realize it was abusive?
In hindsight, um, pretty early on. Like, I wouldn't say abusive early on, but there were red flags that I ignored right from the get-go. Um, I don't think like it really clicked. Until we had like moved in together, which also did not take long. 6 months maybe. I mean, we had unofficially been living together pretty much the whole time because he stayed at my place and just never left. And then we moved in with his dad, like probably 6 months into it. And I would say after that, because I know I would like cry to my dog and be like, I promise I will get us out of this. And then didn't. He never, I, I don't like qualifying it like this because abuse is still abuse. He never laid a hand on me. And it was always like oh, will he, won't he? Like, I don't think he will. Like, he never has. And it wasn't until we were driving back to Minnesota for Christmas and we were fighting and he threw a charger block. I was driving. He threw a charger block at my head. I don't know if he meant to miss me or if he meant to hit me and he missed, but it hit the window and it bounced back. And I didn't realize till we got to the hotel that it like sliced to the inside of my ear. And so that was kind of okay, it's not a will he, it's a when will he. And so I cried to my mom. I didn't tell her everything, but I cried to my mom about it, like saying like I needed to leave the relationship, and then spent like the next month figuring out how I was going to leave.
So he's up in Minnesota visiting your family, and you have to drive all the way back down together. Mm-hmm. But in your head, you had made the decision that you were going to leave.
Yes. Like I was always walking on eggshells anyway, but like that last month, I was trying not to like let anything slip because he was gone when I left. He was at work when I left. So he did not know until he came home from work that I was gone.
Honestly, that's the best way to do it because otherwise it's like just the fighting and the manipulation and the...
Well, and I didn't want to let anything on because other red flag, the way he would talk about his exes, like they were the problem. I knew how they had ended, and so I knew if I like said anything, he would essentially throw me out right then and there. And so like I needed a place to go, and yeah, like I knew there would just be like fighting, and who knows like how else he would have handled it. So I had a plan to leave like during the day on a Friday. My parents and my brother drove down. And I was going to leave on a Friday. Like I was going to pretend to go to work, really go to their hotel. They were going to come back. We were going to move out all this stuff while he was gone. But then he texted me while I was at work a couple days earlier being like, hey, like, is everything okay? Because we had been fighting. Is everything okay? Like, you still seem like things aren't like going well. And I was like, I can't lie. I can't be like, yeah, everything's fine. And then just leave 2 days later. But I also wasn't going to get into it over text. So I was just like, well, there are still some things that are bothering me. Like, we'll talk about it when I get home. I found someone to cover my last period class. I left. I packed up as much as I could. One of my coworkers came when the school day was finished. She packed up the rest of what she could. I know there's stupid things. I know there's like stupid things that like I left behind because I was like, whatever we can take now, this is what we're doing. So I wound up leaving 2 days earlier than I had planned. I took the rest of the week off of work, and then my parents and my brother did show up on Friday, and yeah, I just hung out for the weekend.
How did you let work know? Like,
I didn't know. I'd already
had to just get out. Yeah.
I'd already had Friday off. I told like I don't know, you don't really have a supervisor, but like my department head, I guess, that I like had something going on and I had someone to cover my class and I was like leaving. And then I just took the next 2 days off. She kind of knew after. I don't know how much, like she didn't know the full extent of it, but a couple coworkers were like, no, like she's just like dealing with some relationship stuff, like whatever. So she's not going to be here. So.
Mm-hmm. And then, so then you went straight back to Minnesota.
So no, I finished out the school year.
Oh.
Because that was...
Oh, so they came down to help you move your stuff out into a new place.
Yeah, and then they went back.
Oh, I see.
Yes, and that was part of it because I had a roommate when I moved back down to Houston. And so part of the reason I didn't leave was because I was like, I can't afford to live by myself, and I already gave up my apartment with that roommate. So what now? And so they also gave me $200, like my parents did, gave me $200 a month to help like pay for my bills. Whatever, yeah. They helped me move into my new place. And then they went back to Minnesota. They came back like a month later because they always would come back in like February, March just to visit. So yeah, they came back. They did that. And then I finished out the school year and I moved back to Minnesota in June of that year.
It's nice that they're so helpful.
Yeah.
Comes with a lot of guilt, I'm sure, though. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I think my dad knows even less than my mom knows. But even that, like once he knew like that I kind of needed to leave or whatever without knowing the full extent of it, like he would text me every morning, just like something, just to make sure that I was texting him back. So
your parents sound so great.
they are.
So how long has it, or are you healed from that relationship? Like,
I think, yes. Overall, I think, yes, I am. I think that relationship also, it helped me, like, I know for sure what I don't want in a relationship.
I know you know, like, the red flags, like, taken
Yeah.
serious right away.
Yes, I know the red flags to take serious right away. I would say, I don't know if this is like unhealed or not, but I also don't really care about being in a relationship anymore. Like if I found someone where I could still live my life exactly how I want to live my life, and I don't know that I ever want to live with a man again. Like I love my space. I would be okay with that if I could still like live my life and they could have their life and we would do things together. Other than that, I think that relationship, I was like, I don't know that I need a relationship ever again.
Was he a narcissist?
Absolutely.
So you always say all these things like, oh, narcissists attract this type of person. Is there anything that you think about yourself that's why he chose you to abuse and be in a relationship with?
Probably. I really hate saying that. Like, I am an empath. I don't like that, but I am. Like, I'm very empathetic towards people. Also, I lived in Houston when I first moved to Texas, then I moved to Dallas, and when I moved back, pretty much everyone that I'd been friends with before had either already left or they were married with kids, so they just like already had stuff going on. So I didn't really have anyone when I moved back to Houston, and I met him 3 days after moving into my apartment, and he kind of knew my roommate. Like they'd worked out at the same gym. She made him seem like he was great. I think she knew he wasn't great. And then I met some of who I thought were his friends. And so Tay, that I had to reach out to, that's how I met her because my ex, his name is Danny, worked with her brother. And so they were friends and they happened to live right across the parking lot from us. So we always hung out. And then that's another reason I didn't leave because I thought that they were all better friends than they were. And so I was like, well, if I leave, like, I'm going to lose them. I obviously won them in the breakup, but like that was also part of it. So I think because, yes, like I am very empathetic towards people. I used to be a lot bigger of a people pleaser than I am now, but also I didn't really have anyone else. So like, who
Yeah,
am I
that's
going
why
to
you
turn
were
to?
like the perfect victim. Like,
Yeah.
oh, she just got here. And I mean, not that they're always consciously thinking like that, but yeah, I mean, you're such an independent person. And I think that they really do go after independent people because
Yeah.
then it's more of a feat to overcome,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Like when I told like some of my other friends, like once I was out there, like, I can't believe like you're the same person. I once broke up with a guy. It was not the whole reason. It was just the straw that broke the camel's back for eating my ice cream. So like I used to like very much like not put up with people's shit. And so they're like, I can't believe like that happened to you. And I'm like, if I was still living in Dallas or if I was like living here in Minnesota, I was like, that relationship absolutely would not have happened because I would have had like that support system and people to point out like, girl, run.
And the guilt that I brought up, I mean, because there's so much guilt with staying too when you know you should leave, but you can't. And then, like, you grow up judging the women that don't leave.
Yeah.
And then you're in that relationship, and there's so many things and so many reasons. And maybe it's to make us more empathetic of those people because you understand that it's just not that easy.
Right. Yeah.
There's so many factors. And, like, friends and your social network, like, that's all any of us want is to fit in and be a part of a tribe. Like, that's in our DNA. We can't help it.
Yeah.
So you're in a foreign land, like, just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree that relationship was like, why don't people just leave? And then I was like, oh,
Because
get
you
it.
doubt yourself. They get you to doubt yourself, and you're constantly like, oh, well, I just need to compromise more.
Yeah.
They are a good person because they're so, like, up and down, and they're so giving in some ways, and everybody else, like, thinks that they're great in some circumstances, depending on the type. But so then you're like, this is me. It's all in my head. I'm crazy, but
Yeah. Like there's the
or it's
whole
gonna get better.
cycle thing to it. Also, the only other like real, like official relationship I had before then was my like high school, college boyfriend. All the rest were more like situationships where like they didn't really care like what I did with my own time. And so I also didn't know like what real arguments looked like or how like couples like actually handle them because no one talks about like when they're fighting with their significant other. So I was like, maybe this is normal until like it got too far and I was like, there's no way this is normal. But then also, like I didn't want to tell people. I didn't want to be like, hey, so this is what my boyfriend's doing.
And we think sometimes that love is chasing and love is trying to be validated, and it's, these highs and these lows, but it's not. It's like when your energy is calm, but you doubt yourself because you're like,
Yeah.
I think this is what love is supposed to be, and,
Yeah. I remember crying the day that he did meet my parents, but that day, like when we were supposed to go meet them, like I was crying and he was like, what's wrong? And I was like so nervous. And I think it was because like I never wanted him to like meet any of my friends because deep down, like I knew it was not good. And I was like, someone else is going to see it. And are they going to say something? And if they do, what am I going to do about it? So.
Yeah, it's wild. Well, thank you for sharing that because that, I mean, even just makes me feel better about the guilt from the relationship that I stayed in, but like when it's not right, why would you stay in it? But you have to live it to understand.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot more nuance to it.
Yeah. Is there anything that's been on your mind lately?
I feel like the only thing that's on my mind lately, and we don't really have to get into it, is just the state of the world. Yeah, I feel like that's constantly on my mind right now.
Yeah, understandable. What have you changed your mind about in the past few years?
Staying friends with people just because you've been friends for a long time. I have gotten really good in the past year or so of just cutting people out of my life who like no longer either like I don't align with them or they are super negative, toxic, whatever, or we've just kind of like drifted apart and it's like forcing it to still like be a friendship. I don't know. Like time of a friendship is no longer as important to me. Like obviously like you have like lifelong friends and like that's really great that like you've been lifelong friends, but also like that Tay girl, like we were really close, probably a little trauma bonding there. But we were really close right away. And so like I've realized it doesn't matter like if you've been friends with someone for 15 years or like a month or two. They can both be the same.
Yeah, that connection is all that matters. And yeah, I think movies kind of ruin that for us. Growing up, it's like you fantasize being friends with the same people your whole life. And that's just not realistic. People change so much. And just because you were born in the same town and went to the same school doesn't mean that you have to stay friends forever. And a lot of times those are trauma bonds and they are unhealthy because you went through stuff in high school together. I think I just heard... I heard yesterday, I don't know if I'm going to be able to explain it, but that those plans that you make that you're not sure if you even want to be around that person or not is worse for your mental health than just doing something that you don't want to do. Because it can be good to do things that you don't want to do, but when you're like, oh, I really I don't even know if I connect with this person anymore. I don't know if I want to be in that venue, blah, blah, blah. Like that is the wondering about it. Something about that makes it like worse. And you're supposed to just say no.
I can see
But
that.
I mean, that's such a fine line too, because you have to say yes more. We all have to say yes more to getting out and doing stuff too.
Yes.
Like, because at least for me, like COVID made me stay home so much more. And I just don't even want people as much as I used to.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to just make yourself get out there and do the things.
Yeah, no, I agree. COVID definitely, I was always kind of a homebody, but like COVID made it worse. I'm wearing jeans right now, but I became a leggings person. I was adamant that leggings were not pants up until COVID, and now I live in them.
Yeah.
But also I think, yes, like we have to say yes to more things, but if you want to say no, like why do you want to say no? Is it because you don't want to be with that person, or you just don't want to leave your house?
Yes, there should be like a whole list at the door of like, why am I not going? Answer and be truthful to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, good call. When do you feel most like yourself?
Okay, so I did think about this question. I think I am getting better at like being who I feel like I truly am. I don't like my answer only because I feel like it is possibly going to upset some people or make people, I don't know, take offense to it. I feel like I was most myself when I lived in Texas because I moved there at like 22, didn't know anybody. So like I got to become an adult all on my own, like with no previous expectations. Like I got to be whoever I wanted to be and grow up essentially. And then I came back here and I feel like I'm still like more of myself, but also I moved back to a small town where I feel like there is a lot of like preconceived, this is who you were type of stuff. So I feel like I'm getting better at being completely myself, but it was definitely a struggle when I first moved back.
Was it when you got to Texas, you're like, I can be whoever I want to be?
Yeah.
And now you're like, oh, I'm back into who Maura said I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Has the meaning of life changed to you at all?
I don't know
what the meaning of life is.
I don't know what the meaning of life has necessarily changed. What I want out of life has certainly changed. I always thought that I would get married right out of college, start having kids at like 25. I wanted like 3 to 4 kids at one point. And I was like, that is what makes a happy life. Like you settle down, get married, have babies, live in the suburbs in your little subdivision. And that is life. And now I just love learning new things and experiencing new places. So I don't know, maybe the meaning is always changing, evolving. I definitely don't want the same things anymore. Now I think I'm too selfish to have kids because I've made it to the 37 without a kid. And I know my life would drastically change and I would love them. But either they would have a bad childhood or I would be mentally unwell because I would give everything to that kid.
And you've learned that you need to give to yourself first before you can to other people.
Yeah.
And then the adventures would have to change.
Yeah, they would change. I like that I can I have a dog, so like they are needier than cats, but I can still essentially do whatever I want whenever I want.
Do you have any adventures coming up?
Yes. I have this problem of where I don't usually travel in the like end of the year, and so I start to go stir crazy, so I plan too many trips. So I'm going to Texas at the end of this month for a week. I'm also going to Florida in October. I'm doing a cattle drive. I'm going to go play cowgirl in Kansas in May. And then also I'm taking a road trip to Nebraska for a concert and then doing the Pacific Coast Highway in
Oh my
September.
gosh. Wow.
So yes.
That's so awesome.
But then no more. I cannot add any more to 2026 because my bank account says so.
Yeah. I love how every year towards the end of the year, friends are like, oh, do you want to do this trip? Do you want to do that? And I'm like, you got to catch me like at least a year in advance. Like, I have too many plans. This year I'm not really doing anything, but so I can just say no a little bit easier. But otherwise, everybody's like, you do so much. Do something with me. Just like, we can book it, but it's going to be like in a year.
Right, yeah. Well, when you guys were talking about going to Iceland, right? Is that where it was? And then you went to Banff instead. You guys were talking about that, and my friend Bridget has gone to like Europe a couple times. Like they've gone to Scotland, Ireland, whatever. I'm like, I need to stop taking so many trips so that I can like go abroad. But then I book a million trips, and I'm like, well, not this year.
Yeah, that's what you can't. You do have that part in your brain where you can't say no to trips. It sounds
Yes.
like.
Yeah.
And kennel driving, that's something I've always wanted to bring my dad to do.
Yeah.
Like I just think that would be so fun.
Yeah.
But he's like,
We'll see.
he like thinks it'd be the idea of it's cool to him, but like actually doing it, he's like,
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I realized this morning, because like they made a Facebook group about it and they're like, introduce yourself. And I was like, they're like, also like, what's your experience on a horse? Like whether like you've never been on one or whatever. And I was like, I know I have. And I scrolled back. It's been almost 10 years since I've been on a horse. So we'll see how this goes.
I'm sure you'll pick it right back up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now we're to the segment where I reveal to you how people see you. So I asked you to give me the names and numbers of people I could reach out to that know you well, and I asked them to describe you in 6 to 7 adjectives, and I put those words into themes, and I do this because I think we're just really bad at seeing ourselves how other people do.
Only part that I'm nervous about.
Yeah, it seems that's how everybody seems. Yeah. Like, do you have any guesses?
No, I don't want to guess. I told everyone, they're like, oh, like either she has reached out or she hasn't yet. I go, do not tell me what you said. I don't want to know.
Yeah, right. Well, and you actually have 6 themes because they just didn't fit in 5. So, first one is loyal. 4 people said loyal, dependable, unconditional, and compassionate. Second one is adventurous. 3 people said adventurous, free-spirited, curious, independent. Third word is passionate. 3 people said passionate. So, like, the categories were very easy to figure out right away. Also, under that is ambitious, determined, and outspoken. 4th word is radiant. You're authentic, genuine, magnetic, unforgettable, and irreplaceable. 5th is anchored, resilient, strong, grounded, stubborn, and 2 people said organized. And 6th is perceptive, because you're smart, introspective, witty, and snarky. And your synopsis is that you aren't drifting through life, you are choosing it. Passion is your compass, curiosity is your flame. Clear in your mind, grounded in your way, your fire knows where it's going.
I like it.
And yeah, that fits well because I think you have a plan for life and you're doing it.
Yeah.
So please remember, you are not these words. You are not your thoughts. You are the space between the words, the space between the thoughts. You are the one who knows you have thoughts. Observe them, reflect on them, but know you are not them. You also got described as an animal lover, but that didn't like fit in any of the categories.
Yeah.
So you've talked about your dog a few times, so this tracks. I think that's the first time I've ever used that sentence, this tracks. But that's what the kids say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He's the best thing I ever brought home from a bar.
What's his name?
Nash.
What's that story? Brought him home from the bar?
I am so glad that I have him. He was not a planned dog. One of my coworkers was moving, and so we went out to, I say bar, but it was like a, kind of like a tap house type thing, but it was dog friendly. And so we went there. There was a mom dog with puppies and their owners, and the mom was a farm dog, and she accidentally got knocked up. It was not planned on their part either. And so I was like, don't get a dog. You can't have a dog. I wasn't going to pay for one. I'd always told myself that I wanted a blue heeler if I ever got a dog. but he's not full blue heeler. He's a corgi blue heeler pit bull mix.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, well, I can't afford one. Like, I'm not going to get one. I was starting a new job an hour and a half from where I live, where I was like teaching and coaching. So I was not going to be home. They were free. And I was like holding him. He was the runt. He's the only one that was colored like him. The rest were all brown. And some other girl was like, oh, can I hold this one? And I was like, no. But the brothers are also available. And that's how he came home with me.
You got so protective.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like, it's like a baby. Like, it was an unplanned dog
He is my
adoption.
unplanned baby. I cried on the floor like 2 weeks into it. I called my mom and I was like, I don't think you're getting grandkids because if I can't handle a puppy, how am I going to handle a baby? She was like, it's fine. It's different. And I was like, yeah, I can just leave the puppy. I can't just leave a baby.
No, my dog Polka was so much harder than my son as a baby.
Really?
Like, so needy, crying, needs everything. James is an extra good baby, too.
Yeah.
He's just, like, never, like, he didn't have terrible twos. He didn't ever anything. He was just chill. So I get that. I mean, puppies are tough.
Yeah. But we survived. He'll be 9 in April, so.
What other animals do you love?
Cows are my favorite.
Oh, I'll have to start sending you cow TikToks like I do Ashley.
Yes. I love cows. When I was little, I loved penguins. They were my favorite. I tried to convince my parents to like put a dog door in the freezer so I could get a penguin. Obviously didn't happen, but yeah.
Cute. Yeah. Awesome. So not planning on having, before that question, your friend said that you guys invented a podcast when you were little kids, basically, in Nature Club.
Oh my God. Rude. We were ahead of our time. We recorded on cassettes. Who we were going to mail these to, I don't know. She ruined it because I was like, I have to go to the bathroom. Don't tell them that I have to go to the bathroom. She's like, okay, well, like, I'll just keep rolling. I listened back to it. She was like, Brianne's at the bathroom right now. But yeah, we tried to start a nature club. And so we were going to record. If YouTube had been a thing, we would have been YouTube famous.
Seriously. Yeah. That's awesome. And yeah, that's what she said, is she like just couldn't think of anything else to say. So she had to bring it up, and that you were so mad at her.
I was so mad.
That's so funny.
For the no one that we mailed it out to.
Do you still have it someplace?
I probably do somewhere.
Oh my gosh,
I have to find a cassette player, but yeah.
Okay, so what do you hope kids in the generation being born right now do when they are your age that you do? Something that you're proud that you do, and...
I hope that they see new things, like they get out and explore, especially like all kids, but especially kids from a small town. I hope even if they come back that they get out of their bubble and experience new things.
I like to think of traveling as like a video game, and every place that you go someplace, you like get to a new level in your body. Like something happens where you're just like, you can't unsee it. Yeah. You can't unexperience that. Yeah. I'm trying to get literally everywhere.
Yeah.
And what do you do that you hope that they don't do? What vices do you have?
I spend way too much time on social media. Maybe that won't even be a thing anymore when they're my age. The doomscrolling is bad. That's a vice that I have. Otherwise, also just like the trying to be perfect or being a people pleaser and worrying more about other people than myself. I'm getting better at it. But I know other kids struggle with it. That cousin that I started the nature club with, her daughter just turned 15. I want to be her when I grow up. Like, she's already like, I don't need a boyfriend. Like, well, she has one now, but she's like, I don't need one. Like,
that's why she has one, because she's magnetic, like, because she's not chasing. We probably won't
be together forever. She's like, this is high school, and she does like whatever she wants. Like, she doesn't worry about what her friends think. I'm like, I want to be you when I grow up.
That's amazing. Yeah. I love that. The doom scrolling. I heard something today on a podcast about how when you say you're just not gonna do it, it's kind of like we're comparing it to like drugs or alcohol, and just like you have to quit it completely, when it should be compared more to like overeating, because you can't get away from it. Like, you're gonna need to connect with people through your job, for your family that's out of state. Like, we shouldn't say that we're just not going to do it. We should just figure out how to have a healthy relationship with it the same way as food. So I really liked that. I'd say I have a healthy relationship with social media right now. I mean, I hate going on Facebook and seeing our stuff even, but it's just tough. But like even TikTok, I mean, in 2020, I was like 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
And then I stopped for 6 months, and now it's like, I have to put on my to-do list, like, because I don't have time to TikTok and I want it in my life, because all my TikToks are either funny or like spiritual, into like people that are into the same things I'm into. So I'm like, that is one thing that I'm really healthy with right now.
That's good.
But I really liked hearing that analogy today.
I like that too. I just need to go back to like putting limits on my phone. For a while I did, like I couldn't be on it like anything except for like text messages. Snapchat also stayed because there were some people that I only talked to on Snapchat, and then like Facebook Messenger. But like everything else, I couldn't do it if it was before 6 a.m. and I couldn't do it after 10 p.m. But I was also always turning it off. Like if I was traveling, I was like, traveling doesn't count. And then it just got to where I just never turned it back on. Or I would set like time limits, and then I would not go on TikTok all day because I was like, I need this before bed and I don't want to like waste my TikTok time now. So I need to do that again. I just haven't.
I've done that too. And then like, it's like, oh, your time is up, but then you're just like, push, okay, I'm going to have more.
Yeah.
But, so maybe you have to double stack it. I just got done reading Atomic Habits, and it's like about stacking. So putting the time limits on, but then also saying if I make it a month without pushing the add more time, then go book another trip or something.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for coming on. It was so fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.